Hello. Today I'm going to recap a Japanese anime movie from 2004 titled Yu-Gi-Oh! The Movie, Pyramid of Light. The movie is based on the Japanese anime series Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters, an adaptation of the manga by Kazuki Takahashi. With that out of the way, let's begin. The film opens with a narration explaining that long ago, Egyptian kings took part in shadow games. These games were fought with magic and monsters and threatened to destroy the world. However, this ended when a powerful pharaoh sealed the magic away within the Millennium items. 5,000 years later in Japan, a high school student named Yugimoto is attempting to complete the Millennium Puzzle, a feat that no one has been able to accomplish. Despite this, Yugi is determined to finish it. Meanwhile in Egypt, an expedition at the Valley of Kings discovers the tomb of Anubis, the Egyptian lord of the dead. They find his sarcophagus in chains, as well as an artifact called the Pyramid of Light. At the same time, Yugi manages to complete the Millennium Puzzle. But when he puts the last piece in, the dark magic that had been sealed away is released. Anubis awakens, traps the archaeologist inside the tomb and buries them alive. He then does the same with the rest of the tomb and those around it. The Millennium Puzzle then releases dark monster spirits that try and attack Yugi. However, he's saved by the spirit of the pharaoh, Yami, who possess his body. Yami banishes the spirits back into the puzzle before returning himself, leaving Yugi confused. I'm surprised he isn't traumatized. We then cut to 3 years later. In that time, a card game known as Duel Monsters, a modern version of the Shadow games, has risen in popularity throughout the world. With the assistance of Yami, Yugi has managed to become the best in the world. He's taken part in the Duelist Kingdom tournament, where he defeated Maximilian Pegasus, the creator of the game, as well as Battle City, where he defeated the top duelist in the world, including his rival Seto Kaiba, and won the 3 Egyptian god cards, the most powerful cards in the game. However, this fame has drawn the attention of duelists around the world, who believe they can easily defeat Yugi and claim his god cards. We then see a duel taking place between Yami and Kaiba. Yami has managed to summon his god cards, but Kaiba is still determined to win. He fuses his Blue Eyes White Dragon cards into Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, then uses a spell card to double its attack points. However, Yami sacrifices 2 of his god cards, giving their energy to Obelisk the Tormentor. Despite Kaiba's efforts, Obelisk manages to destroy Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. It's then revealed that the whole thing was a simulation by Kaiba, who's been trying to find a way to beat Yugi's god cards. With the simulation a failure, he decides to try a different solution. That night, an unseen force enters Pegasus' mansion and places a card in his special deck. Pegasus then has a nightmare about the Egyptian gods being encased inside the Pyramid of Light. Upon waking up, he fears that something dangerous is about to happen. The next morning, Yugi's grandfather Solomon is reading the newspaper when he sees that an exhibit featuring items from Anubis' tomb is being displayed at the museum. He notices the Pyramid of Light's resemblance to the Millennium Puzzle and decides to check it out. Later, Kaiba takes his dragon-shaped jet plane, yes, that is a real thing, to Pegasus Island. He tells Pegasus that he's come to him in order to find a card that can beat the Egyptian gods, since he created them. Pegasus says he can't help and that he's retired, but Kaiba insists he wouldn't have let the god cards go unless he had a way to beat them. Pegasus admits he has one card but refuses to give it to Kaiba. Determined, Kaiba challenges Pegasus to a duel for the card, putting his Blue Eyes White Dragon cards on the line. Amused, Pegasus accepts his challenge. At Domino High School, Yugi and his friends Joey, Tristan and Taya find a large group of people waiting at the school entrance. The group is made up of duelists who wish to duel Yugi in order to win his god cards. Surrounded by duelists, Taya sneaks Yugi out while Joey and Tristan distract them. Joey says they'll need to prove themselves worthy of battling Yugi by battling him first. The duelists agree, and Joey manages to beat all of them easily. However, when Yugi and Taya return, the group chases after them, leaving Joey and Tristan behind. Needing a place to hide, Taya spots the Domino Museum and gets an idea. Back at the island, Pegasus and Kaiba begin their duel. Pegasus manages to take an early lead, summoning powerful toon monsters to the field. However, Kaiba is able to summon XYZ Dragon Cannon and destroy his monsters, winning him the duel. However, when he goes to collect the card, he finds 2 instead, leaving Pegasus surprised. Back at the museum, Yugi and Taya see a notice about the Anubis exhibition and decide to check it out. While there they meet Yugi's grandpa, who tells them the legend that Anubis attempted to destroy the world long ago but was stopped by the pharaoh Yami. He also shows them a message written on Anubis's sarcophagus.
The eye that sees what's yet to come, its vision shall be fulfilled. Unless blinded by events predetermined, thus light and shadows both be killed.
Suddenly, a light engulfs the trio, and Yugioh sees a vision of Yami and Kaiba being attacked by Anubis. When he awakens, he finds Anubis's body and the Pyramid of Light are missing. Fearing Kaiba is in danger, Yugioh rushes off to warn him. However, he's stopped outside the museum by Kaiba's brother Mokuba, who says that Kaiba has challenged him to a duel. Since he needs to warn Kaiba, Yugioh agrees and leaves with Mokuba. Joey and Tristan see this and follow them to Kaiba's duel dome. Yugioh talks with Yami about his history with Anubis, but because he lost his memories he doesn't know anything useful. However, the two agree to work together to figure it out. The two eventually meet Kaiba and try to warn him about Anubis, but Kaiba doesn't listen and has all the exits sealed. Unable to reason with Kaiba, the two begin their duel. Yami manages to take an early lead, bringing out enough monsters in order to summon Slifer the Sky Dragon. However, Kaiba uses a spell card to force Yami to summon the remaining god cards. Yami scolds Kaiba for helping him summon the Egyptian gods, but Kaiba reveals it was all part of his plan. He then activates one of Pegasus's cards, Pyramid of Light, much to Yami's shock. The card surrounds them in a giant pyramid before removing the Egyptian gods from play. However, the pyramid then causes Yugioh's soul to be sucked into the Millennium Puzzle. Joey and Tristan are then separated from their bodies and sucked into the puzzle as well. The pyramid then starts destroying the building, causing Mokuba to flee, while Taya and Solomon witness the destruction. Yugioh finds himself in a maze-like structure and attempts to locate Yami. Meanwhile, Yami and Kaiba continue their duel. But each time they deal damage to each other, their life energy is drained as well. Kaiba also manages to activate a card called Deck Destruction Virus, which sends 10 cards from Yami's deck to the graveyard each time it's activated. Meanwhile, Yugioh sees an apparition of Yami and follows it to a room resembling an Egyptian tomb. Suddenly, mummies climb out of the sarcophaguses and chase after Yugioh, who is soon joined by Joey and Tristan. At the same time, Taya and Solomon arrive at the duel dome. Mokuba explains what's happening, and Solomon deduces Anubis is behind it. Yami and Kaiba continue their duel, with Kaiba sending more of Yami's cards to the graveyard with Deck Destruction Virus. He then manages to summon Blue Eye's Ultimate Dragon, lowering Yami's life points even further. Yugioh, Joey and Tristan manage to loose the mummies, but then find a large eye floating above them. Seeing Yami struggle in the duel, Yugioh decides to go back to Anubis's tomb, who is absorbing the energy of Yami and Kaiba. Despite his pleas, Kaiba refuses to heed Yami's warning about the duel. Forced to continue, Yami manages to summon both Dark Magician and Dark Magician Girl. He then sacrifices both in order to summon Sorcerer of Dark Magic. Thanks to its special ability, it's able to destroy both Blue Eye's Ultimate Dragon and Deck Destruction Virus. However, Kaiba uses Monster Reborn to bring back Blue Eye's Ultimate Dragon. He then sacrifices it to bring out Pegasus's second card, the Blue Eye's Shining Dragon. And thanks to its special abilities, it manages to destroy Yami's Sorcerer and bring his life points down to 200. This causes both Yami and Yugioh to collapse, but Joey and Tristan are there to help. Back outside, the energy from the pyramid causes more damage to the dome. Pegasus then arrives and brings Taya, Solomon and Mokuba to safety. He then explains to the three what Anubis is planning. Back inside the puzzle, the three friends reach the tomb of Anubis, who has grown even stronger. He then shows them a vision of his plan to destroy the world and explains that he was released from his prison when Yugioh finished the Millennium Puzzle. Determined to stop him, the three friends refuse to back down. Sensing her friends are in danger, Taya allows herself to be sucked into the Millennium Puzzle. Finding the others, she reminds them of the power of their friendship and that they will always be together. They then use the power of friendship to beat the crud out of the mummies. Despite the circumstances, Yami continues on with the duel, bolstering his defense with more monsters. However, none of the monsters are able to stand up to the Blue Eye's Shining Dragon. A voice urges Kaiba to use his dragon to finish Yami, but Kaiba is determined to achieve the perfect victory and destroy Yami with his own Egyptian gods. He activates Blue Eye's Shining Dragon's ability, sacrificing it in order to destroy the Pyramid of Light. However, the pyramid remains on the field, leaving the two confused. Suddenly, a figure emerges behind Kaiba and throws him aside. It's revealed that the figure is Anubis, who has stolen enough energy to regain a mortal form. He summons two powerful monsters to the field, Andro Sphinx and Sphinx Telea, which quickly take out Yami's final monsters. Now, Yami only has 100 life points, 2 magic cards and 1 trap card left. Back inside the puzzle, the group continues to fight the mummies. Yugi then remembers the prophecy, and realizes he needs to destroy the eye above Anubis's sarcophagus. Finding the dagger, Yugi throws it at the eye. Though he only manages to chip it, this is enough to weaken its power. Sensing this, Yami realizes what Yugi has done and begins his turn. He activates double spell, sacrificing his other spell card to get one from Kaiba's graveyard. He chooses Monster Reborn and summons Blue Eyes Shining Dragon to the field. Using its special ability, Yami sacrifices the dragon in order to destroy the Pyramid of Light, which also destroys Anubis's monsters. This frees Yugi and the others from the puzzle and destroys the pyramid surrounding them. However, Anubis still has the physical Pyramid of Light. He uses its power to summon his most powerful monster, the Great Sphinx, and power it using the souls of the dead from the Pyramid of Light and Millennium Puzzle. Yugi fears that they have nothing that can beat Anubis. However, Yami reveals his final card, Reverse of Reverse, which allows him to use Kaiba's face-down card, Return from the Different Dimension. He uses this card to bring back his Egyptian gods, which combine to increase their power. This allows Yami to destroy the Great Sphinx, as well as Anubis and the Pyramid of Light, winning him the duel. Kaiba awakens just in time to see the remnants of the Pyramid of Light activate. Anubis returns as a monster-like being, and quickly takes out both duelists' decks. Joey attempts to help, but his monsters are too weak. The group is then forced to flee as more of the duel dome is destroyed as Anubis grows more powerful. Realizing that all monsters summoned are now real, Kaiba gives Yugi the one card that can beat him. Yugi and Yami then summon Blue Eyes Shining Dragon, as its special ability allows it to destroy any monster. This proves too much for Anubis, who is finally destroyed along with the Pyramid of Light. With the threat now gone, the group wonders if Anubis will ever return. However, Solomon and Pegasus agree that the Lord of the Dead is gone for good. Kaiba reluctantly accepts defeat, but promises that him and Yugi will one day duel again. The film then ends with Yugi and Yami reflecting on the challenges they overcame thanks to the help of their friends, which they say makes them true winners. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this and want to see more, don't forget to like and subscribe. And leave a comment telling me what movie you'd like to see recapped next.